Hey guys, welcome back to Salem, Cellar. So in honor of the newly released horror comedy, The Blackening, today we're going to be discussing some of my favorite Black characters in the horror genre that have survived. I'll be right back. So The Blackening was released June 16th, and I'm pretty excited to go see this movie. What it's about is 7 friends go away for the weekend only to find themselves trapped in a cabin with a killer who has a vendetta. They must pit their street smarts and knowledge of horror movies against the murderer to stay alive. Now, it's kind of an ongoing joke in the horror genre that the Black characters die first or just always die. So it made me sit there and really think about like the characters in these movies that I really loved that survived. And while making this list, I was amazed how many characters that I really loved that didn't die. One of them being Brandy, and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. She was Jennifer Love Hewitt's roommate. Now, I was waiting for her the entire movie to die, especially she definitely had some close calls throughout the film, but she pulled through and she survived. If you think of Scream 2, Neve Campbell's roommate, Holly, she doesn't make it. So then this one, I'm like, oh, okay, Brandy's not going to make it, but she does. Another favorite of mine, speaking of Scream 2, is Dwayne Martin. Now, originally, Wes Craven had Dwayne Martin being killed, and the script was leaked, so he changed it all and had him survive. It was kind of smart because in the beginning of the film, you see Jada, and she's at the movie theaters and she's talking with her boyfriend about the horror genre and how Black characters statistically don't survive, and then they are killed shortly after. Then you're thinking Dwayne Martin's gonna get it, and you're waiting, especially because the cameraman in Scream 1 didn't have a great fate. Like, he definitely was gutted. So having him be smart enough to leave and then come back when the drama was over, it was genius, and he survived. So yeah, he's one of my favorite characters who did not get the axe, so to say, the knife, at the end of Scream 2. So I'm happy that script was leaked and they went a different route. Another of mine is Keith David. Now, I really love this actor. He is in The Thing from 1982. Now, he technically survives this film, and I'm pretty sure he's one of the first Black characters in a horror movie to survive. Now, I know you're supposed to assume that him and Kurt Russell don't make it because they're kind of like, outside, they're going to freeze to death and die, but we do not see them die on the screen. We don't see it. So in my mind, he survives. Yes, he's definitely one of my favorites, and he's just one of my favorite actors overall. I'm actually going to be meeting him in a few weeks, which I'm pretty excited about. Another favorite of mine is Tanedra Howard. Now, she is in Saw 6. She actually won the role in a show called Scream Queens, and they were really impressed by her acting skills, so was I. So in the opening scene of this film, her and another gentleman they wake up and they're in a trap, and they have to basically cut off pieces of their flesh to whoever has like the most weight of flesh at the end survives. So the gentleman is a bigger dude, and she's like, I don't have any fat on my stomach. How am I going to survive this? He's hacking away pieces of flesh on his stomach. She takes the saw and starts cutting off her arm. So she starts like low, and then she's like, no, that's not going to do it. And she goes up higher, cuts that bad boy off, and survives. If she doesn't deserve to survive in a horror movie, like who does, really? She just like cut off her arm to live. That is definitely the will to live right there. Another one of mine is LL Cool J. Who doesn't love LL, right? Ladies, we love Cool J. Sorry, that was corny, but yes, we love LL Cool J. But he doesn't survive not once, but twice. So he survives Michael Myers in H2O. I really thought he was done. Like, wasn't he like shot? The bullet just grazed him. So I thought he was definitely done. No, he survives, thankfully. And then another one is Deep Blue Sea. I know that's more like, I guess, sci-fi, but you can put that in the horror category. You know, these extremely smart sharks are trying to kill everybody. His bird gets eaten and he survives. Like, literally at the very end, they're swimming to the surface and a shark gets him. So you think he's done. And you're like, oh man, poor LL survived this entire time and he's gonna get it. Nope, he takes his crucifix, his necklace, and he shoves it in the shark's eye and he survives. He deserved that win. He deserved to survive. So yes, that's why LL is one of my favorite, not one, but 2 horror movies he survived. So kudos to you, LL. Another one of mine is Lawrence Fishburne. Now, this is before he was an Oscar nominee. He was in the 3rd installment of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, Dream Warriors, which happens to be my favorite. He works at a hospital and in the psych ward, and he survives. I don't know how he survived because everybody was dying left and right. Horrible deaths, but my man survives. So yeah. Another one of mine is Loretta Devine. Now, she was the campus security in Urban Legends. She thought she was Foxy Brown. She was just the entire movie she's watching these films. And then she finally got to be involved in the action and she saves the day and she survives. She was a badass lady who deserved that win. I do really love that movie. I'm going to need a rewatch soon. Another favorite of mine is Nia Long from the 1990 film Stigmata with Patricia Arquette. Oof, I remember the first time I saw this movie, I saw it in the theaters. If you are into like the church movies with possession or anything like that and you haven't seen Stigmata, definitely go see it. It is intense, it is dark, it is a horror film, but it's a lot of fun and it's amazing. It's definitely a nice throwback. I can't believe it was from 1999. It doesn't feel like that old, but if you haven't seen it, definitely go watch it. Another of mine, could be more of like a thriller, but to me it's definitely horror, is Gothica. Halle Berry in Gothica. Now this film is from 2003. When I saw this movie, it like kicked my butt to the core. Like that ending, like literally disgusted me, intrigued me, made me feel like every emotion I could possibly feel. Like there is some twist in that. It's kind of a ghost story, kind of. So Halle Berry, she works at a psychiatric hospital. And on her way home one day, she sees this woman in the middle of the road. She's sopping wet. Halle Berry runs out to try to help her. You never get out of your car to go help people. So yeah, she gets possessed, I guess. Her husband ends up getting murdered by her. She doesn't remember any of it, but now she's in the psych ward. So you kind of like the story starts to unravel and you find out like really what's going on. It's like a deep, horrifying mystery and she finds out some horrifying details at the very end of the movie. I don't want to give it away in case you didn't see it. If you haven't seen Gothica, go check it out. Don't watch it late at night unless you're like a horror guru and you can watch anything before bed, kind of like me. But if you are sensitive to horror movies, do not watch this film before bed. I am warning you. It will get you to your core. Like, it's still hard for me to watch this movie. I love it. Halle Berry does a phenomenal job in it, but it's not a movie I can watch all the time because the ending makes me physically sick. Yeah. So give it a watch. So I hope you guys enjoyed my list. Those are just some of my favorite characters that have survived in the horror genre. I love them all. Hopefully there's many more to come. I cannot wait to go see The Blackening this weekend. I hope you guys are going to run to the theaters and see it as well. I've been hearing really great things about it. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a great day. I will be right back.